seem like they're increasingly unlikely. We're heading into, last week of session. So I want you, can you respond to that? Also, what about some criticism that maybe we should have prioritized tax cuts rather than tax credits for private and homeschool parents?
Well, first off, tax cuts, I haven't given up hope, and I will always, for Oklahoma, advocate for it. So my state of the state last year, the state of the state this year, I've called for smaller government, lower taxes. And again, I would never put Oklahoma in a harmful situation and cut revenue below reoccurring expenses, but you also cannot just grow government unchecked. And that's kind of what tax cuts do. When we have a budget surplus and we have the largest savings account in state history, it is very reasonable to give some of that back to the taxpayer, especially in the form of grocery tax, or with inflation hurting everyone and everything seeming to cost more and our dollars not go as far as they used to. So we certainly really excited about the education package we put together, but we still have room to do a quarter of a point tax cut. And again, implore the legislature to do what's right, and let's give some of that back to the taxpayer.
The legislature is going to run its budget bills through the special session process. I've been told that you're on board with that, you're seemingly okay with that, but it does take your line item veto authority and your veto authority away because they can come back and override. It doesn't take it away, but it negates some of that political power. What are you doing in the meantime, if you are doing anything, to ensure that your priorities are heard and that your political authority is still in this budget process?
Most of session, the education package took a lot of the air, and so we just got that agreement on Monday. So now the budget process can actually finally take place. Yes, they're doing a special session, and they do that to give themselves time, to your point, which is, Oklahomans don't really care about how the sausage is made, but they want to make sure that they have the time to come back in case I veto something. And that's just the way the building works. If they would have got on the budget earlier, they would have had it to my desk today, and that would have given them time before next Friday to come back in. So that's just kind of how the building works. That's no big deal. Again, I don't really have any priorities except lower taxes, smaller government. So if we had a flat budget, I'd be happy with that. The tax credit, the school choice options was very, very important to me. Getting that across the finish line, I think, is historic for Oklahomans. I think 20 years from now, we're going to look back on this budget for parents' choice, and we're going to say, hey, this was really, really good for a lot of parents across the state of Oklahoma. It injected some more competition in our school system. So excited about that. The budget, my team is now working with them. Secretary Laws and Secretary Bingman are working together with them to try to get a good budget now across the finish line. I'm still hoping for a quarter of a point tax cuts. We can absolutely afford that, and we'll see if we get that in there. That's certainly in my budget. It was in my original budget when I rolled it out at the State of the State.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.